here with Myron Piggie Jr. I'm about to tell you to spell it, but we already know how to spell it. So we're gonna jump right in, man. Tell me what it was like growing up with Myron Piggie, not only as your father, but carrying that name. Tell us about that.
That's funny, man, because it's the second time somebody ever asked me that question in my whole life.
Really?
I never even thought about it either because it just was life.
This was life.
So, interesting, man. Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment with your pops.
Never a dull moment, man. I mean, early on it was crazy times. You're talking about shootouts and fights and all kind of different things. But it was also some good stuff too. Like, we used to go hoop every Sunday.
Okay.
Type stuff. We had traditions or rituals, I guess you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like the only young guy with the older dudes. So every Sunday they go hoop, we go McDonald's and to the liquor store.
Okay.
Go back to the house, watch the Lakers and the Celtics or whoever, Dr. J, whoever was on. And I hang out with some of the cats. I play video games. Some guys play video games with me. Mm-hmm. And everybody else is just doing the grown-up thing,
So let me ask you this, because your father swear he could hoop. He swear, like when we had this conversation, he's always talking about, man, my jump shot. I'm like, what? Like, could your father actually play basketball, Myron?
Yeah, he could.
Come on, man.
He wasn't afraid to shoot it either.
Okay,
Like he could shoot it. He definitely could shoot it. But he was a bully too.
He was a
He
was a bully on the basketball court.
Yeah, it was just he was always like real strong, or whatever. So he held his own, man.
Okay. So with growing up, and when did you realize like who your father was to the community, like just beyond just being your dad and the things you just talked about? When did you realize like who he was?
Man, honestly, first time I went to jail.
Okay.
Right? Like, you see what's going on and things like that nature, but like I said, I was born into it. So for me, it was just like, that's how life was supposed to be.
Okay.
But then, when you got locked up and things kind of changed a little bit and you would kind of hear different things, it was like, light bulb kind of went off. But to me, it was like I said, it was just regular life. So,
okay. So how was that dealing? Like, talk a little bit about in the book. We kind of go through the story of your mom and your sister being in the house with your pops. Talk a little bit about what you saw and how that impacted, your mom and your sister, growing up when he went to jail and things like that, and things that he was involved in.
It was destructive, man. It was destructive. We the family dynamic was kind of different.
Okay.
During those times. And it had a lasting effect too.
Right.
Like, I mean, to this day.
Right.
There's still some of that. If you ever talk to my sister, she'll tell you she felt abandoned. Mm-hmm. For like like my pops left us. Or with my mom, like I know for me, like growing up, I didn't like my pop for real. Mm-hmm. For certain times because I would see what my mom was going through.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And it would be hard to watch, man. Especially he was locked up, just watching her cry and things like that. I couldn't, as a kid, there wasn't nothing I could do.
Right.
I was helpless. So I had a lot of anger towards him, because of that.
Mm-hmm. So with that anger and just kind of growing up with it, you turned to sports. You turned to basketball. So talk to me a little bit about, and we talked a little bit off camera on the phone about when you first started hooping and playing organized basketball and the friendships you formed through that.
Man, I started hooping when I was like 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was young. Robin Lucas was my first coach. Used to play at the Y. I met most of my friendships come from that. Growing up, Jerron.
Mm-hmm.
I met Jerron when I was maybe like 9, 10.
Okay.
Playing with Walker. And I played with different people. I was actually growing up, man. Like around that time, I was probably one of the better guards in the city.
I heard that. That's real.
It's crazy because I don't know where these coaches used to come from or where they used to see me play at. But one guy went to jail. Asked my pops if I could play for him. One time, you know Sterling Brown.
Yeah, I know Sterling.
Sterling Brown, daddy.
Yep.
Went down to the county and asked him if I could
No
play for him.
stuff.
And I don't know this man from nothing. And so I used to play. I played on the South Suburban League, 10 and under. Played down at Grenat when I was 8 and under. Linwood Y, 43rd Street Boys and Girls Club. Like if you wasn't playing in them places,
you wasn't playing.
Yeah. Play for the Keys.
Yeah. We all play for the Keys.
Play for the Keys.
That was my first group. That was my first team, Kansas City Keys.
Yeah.
Bob Lucas was my first baseball coach.
I know. We played on the same T-ball team.
Would you tell me I was hard? Would you say I was
You was bad.
You said I don't remember this.
You was an angry little kid, man.
I was angry?
You was angry.
I don't
You used to
remember
get mad. The littlest stuff, you be mad. I'd be like, why is that kid always mad, man? Like, what's going on?
I was competitive.
Man, you was mad angry.
I was angry.
I mean, at that time, who knows?
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, what's wrong with this dude? Like, every time, if he lost or sometimes if stuff didn't go your way, you just be mad, man.
I remember that. I was a competitor, man. I had an older brother, man, and he was just, you have an older brother just tease you to death. That was my older brother. He teased me, and he wasn't even an athlete, but he just used to tease me to the tilt, and I would just be explosive, man. So that was so funny you said that. So when you start really coming to your own as a basketball player around that middle school era, talk a little bit about your relationship with Jerron and kind of how that impacted where you all went and started playing with, Seafield.
So one day we our first practice was at Greg Center outside with Walker, me, Jerron, some of my cousins, Mitchell, Todd, Marlon. There's probably about a good 10 or 12 of us out there. We didn't know our first big tournament we played out at Pembroke Hill.
Okay.
We didn't know we were auditioning.
Okay.
For what was to come. But we went out there, man. We was killing cats. We were blowing everybody out. And it's crazy too because around that same time, I was having a lot of pain in my hip. Right? Like I could play a whole weekend and be good, but like when I sit down, like I wake up Monday morning and I'm walking like I'm 80 years old.
Like your pops.
Yeah. So, but I guess we impressed Mr. Grant, Tom Grant, who was the sponsor of Seafield. I think Seafield Capital was like some kind of investment firm or something. I was not quite sure, but he was the owner of that. And, he started sponsoring us. We started moving around, traveling, playing basketball all year round. Cause early on I played baseball too. I played football with Walker for like a half a season, but basketball took over everything,
So with the culmination of that team with Seafield, talk a little bit about the players, because there was players who were older than you that kind of were named players, back in the mid 90s that were playing for Tom Grant before you all came on. Yeah,
so you had Derek Hood,
American,
Eric Bowie.
Yep.
Who else? Man, Tay Officer. Who else? It was a bunch of them, man. There's a guy named Floyd. I can't think of Floyd's last name. Floyd was pretty decent. Jeff Dayton. Yeah. Jeff Dayton played. Matter of fact, Aaron Ellison.
That's my doc.
Yeah, he was my doctor too. So Aaron
Ellison
played back in the day. I seen a picture of him playing. Of course, his sons played. Joey. Joey played. Donnell Fletcher.
Yeah.
Reggie McConnell.
Yep.
Played.
So you have some players who were, we know they could go back in the day. And so when you come along, when Jerron comes along, what did you see in Jerron? Because that was y'all were thick as thieves back in the day. What did you see that kind of made him stand out as an athlete, as a basketball player?
Starting off, I didn't see that. Right?
I know.
Jerron was real clumsy, man. But he was tall and he played hard. Over the years he developed into what he became. But starting off, man, he was very good at like rebounds and stuff like that. Defense. Well, blocking shots. I say.
Yeah.
Let me be specific.
Okay.
Because defense wasn't his specialty. I can't say defense. But we played every day though. Like back then, man, like that's all we did. After school, in the summertime, every day. Me and that guy was together every single day. Okay. You know, from the age of like 10 up until like high school.
Okay.
Or whatever. So we that was my best friend, my childhood best friend. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he told you how we met, but how we became best friends.
He didn't tell me.
But so we was practicing. It was our first practice. We practicing. It was like the weekend before school started, and we running suicides. Him and my cousin kind of collided a little bit. My cousin started crying, wanted to fight Jerron. He was younger, so me and his two other brothers we jumped Jerron and beat him up. Right?
When was this? What grade was this?
It was, matter of fact, it was right before 6th grade because, like I said, we were starting Paul Robeson together. Yeah. So we started Paul Robeson together that following Monday.
Okay.
And me and that dude was together every day.
So you beat him up and then y'all became friends.
Man.
That ain't a hood classic story right there.
That's how it goes. Like,
that is how it goes.
If somebody in your family fighting, everybody fighting. You know.
I got you.
So over the years, though, you know, every year would change. We would have like new players on our team every year. Me and him were the only ones that stuck it out from the beginning to the very end.
Okay.
But throughout that, we had a whole cast of different players, man. Mike Johnson, a guy named Chi-Chi. I don't know if you remember Chi-Chi played at St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, yeah.
Jason Fuller, Joe Manthe.
I remember Joe Manthe.
They were from Leavenworth.
Yeah.
God, this dude gonna kill me. I can picture his face. He was a little left-hand guard. It'll come to me. Jermaine Bergeridge was his name. He played out in the Olathe area too.
So you have players that's coming.
Players from everywhere. Yeah. You know, Walker was recruiting.
Yeah.
You know, at that point. So yeah, we had players from all different. You know, we was from the city. We had the guys from Overland Park, Olathe. You know, those areas, Shawnee Mission. So we had a good team though. We dominated the city, man, to the point where we would play older. We would play in our division and play in the older division in the same weekend.
Get good competition and stuff like that. So tell me about when it transitioned to when your father started coaching y'all for Tom Grant's team. Tell me a little bit about that dynamic.
It was random. It was super random.
I know.
We were in the middle of a tournament in Lee Summit.
Okay.
And after one of the games, Tom was like, "Hey, Myron, you ever coach basketball?"
Just out the blue.
Out the blue, man. Like, something had happened. We had went to a tournament in Ohio. Something happened with Walker. You know, something with money and stuff like that. I don't know the particulars.
Right.
But he asked him about that, and it was on and popping from there.
Okay.
You know? I have to remind him, sometimes when everybody talk about Pops, like how legendary he was.
Like he's Phil Jackson?
And everything. And I said, look, man, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have been there, man.
So you got to keep your Pops humble.
Keep him humble.
You wouldn't even have been there, huh?
If it weren't for me,
and that's the truth. If you were not playing on that team, you would have never had. That's very true. We would have never even been here talking about this because it would have never happened.
But I think Tom saw how all the players gravitated towards him. You know, even before.
Why do you think that was?
Even before he became the coach, like I said, Jerron was my best friend, so he would always see him. He'd be around, and if he needed some money or something like that, he treated him just like he was me.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Jerron was the man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest thing. You know, Tom saw somebody that Jerron really respected, and had a lot of influence on Jerron. So it kind of helped him out because Jerron wasn't listening
to him that much. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, and just to stay on the personal with your father, tell me something that people kind of wouldn't expect with your father having a kind of a tough exterior. Tell us something about your father that, people wouldn't expect that only somebody like his son would know about him.
He's a funny guy.
He think he's funny.
Yeah, he think he's a funny guy.
He funny.
He always cracking jokes on people, man. Like nobody's nobody's off limits.
Yeah.
He like he could just meet you and just be like, man, why don't pants so tight, man?
Yeah, that's very true.
And, most folks know him though. Like, they know all the bad stuff or whatever, but he'll give you the shawl off his back though.
Yeah.
He'll put his life on the line for the people that he loves. And, and he's shown it. Like everybody, most people know that, he's given more than he's taken to. When I think about that, he's done so much for so many people. I'm talking about like, even outside his family.
Right.
But even from family, like there's been times people stole from him and stuff like that. And he just be like, I guess they kind of needed it more than I did.
Wow.
Type of deal.
Gotcha.
And it's crazy because on the street, if it was somebody different, they wouldn't have got the same pass.
Exactly.
But it's like I said, the people that he loved, man, he just had a soft spot. And they got away with some things.
So fast forward a little bit when everything came down, the indictments, everyone knows what happened to him. Talk a little bit about what happened to you as a basketball player, as an athlete, and how you were looked upon because of what was happening with your father.
It's crazy, man, because at that time I had built up my own reputation. Like people that knew me knew I was solid. I wasn't, with the BS and nothing like that. I wasn't never trying to get over on folks or whatever. So my reputation was straight. For the most part, man, it's crazy. I was in California when all that stuff happened, and I was staying with one of my great aunt, and I'm going to work, had a part-time job or whatever, and she says, I was like, all right, aunt, I'm about to, I ain't gonna say her name, but she know who she is. I'm about to go to work. I said, all right, aunt, I'll see you later. I'm about to go to work. She said, all right, but if you go to jail, don't call me. I can't help you. Right.
Random.
Just random.
Okay.
But what happened was she saw the article in the LA Times.
Wow.
Right. She read that article in the LA Times and just automatically just said that. Yeah. That was the craziest thing to me because I'm like, I've done nothing for you to even remotely think that I'm gonna do something to go to jail. The lady, the job I worked at, the lady at her church got me the job.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to work. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But it was little stuff like that. I was trying out at a JUCO out in Cali as well, and the feds came and actually talked to my coach at the time, and it's a weird situation. They was kind of like, man, we can't really have that kind of stuff around here, type of deal. So it was tough a little bit. I didn't understand it, but I had been through so much at that time. By that time, like it was nothing to me.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So as we progress a little bit, talk about the now with you and your father and the dynamic. I know me and you talk a little bit about it. You're the spit image of him when you sit here talking to him. I don't know if that's good or bad, but talk a little bit about after everything that you all have gone through between you and him. How is that relationship now? A lot of people, wonder, like, since you've gone through all these stages with your father, how has that impacted your all's relationship?
Man, at some point, as a man, you got to sit back and look at yourself and hold yourself accountable for things. You can't. It's nobody else's fault where you end up or anything like that, man. I probably was like maybe 29, 30, and I was taking inventory on myself. And when I thought about it, man, like out of all the stuff that happened, bad, good, or whatever, at the end of the day, he did the best that he could. The decisions he made, putting his life on the line out in the streets, put me in Rockhurst my freshman year, like a lot of stuff you don't realize at the time, but when you get older, you look back and be like, dang, man, he was really trying to do something for me.
Right.
And it was that moment when I was just like, man, I can't be mad at him. Right. Because people only can do what you're taught, right? Or what you're exposed to. Beyond that, if you don't know, you don't know. Right. And he did a lot of stuff he didn't know, but he tried. Right. So at that point, I forgave him, man. And then as time, we definitely gotten closer, But in life, man, you got to give people grace, right? Like, especially the people that you so-called love, right?
Sure.
It ain't, you can fix them out to say anything. You can tell somebody you love them, but your actions and everything is more important.
That's what matters.
You know, so I always, even when I didn't like him or was mad at him, I still always had his back. Like, you couldn't say nothing about him.
Yeah, we know.
Right?
Yeah, we know.
It wasn't one of them things when you can sit up here and talk trash about my pops or whatever.
Yeah.
You about to throw some hands, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I love it, man. Like, we cool. And, you know, the Bible will say, man, honor thy parents, man.
Mm-hmm.
Honor your mother and father, you know. And that's what I do, you know, regardless of whatever the case may be. I'm always going to check on my pops. I'm always going to, you know, if I can, I'm going to look out for them.
Right.
And things like that.
You know, you always hold them down. That's something I always appreciated when we connected and had our conversation, you know, about it. It made me think, this is my last question. What do you want this book to tell about your father? What do you want people to take away from this book when they think about your father and his legacy?
It would be good for people to kind of hear what really happened, right? Mm-hmm. What really happened, the truth. He wasn't the bad guy that everybody put him out to be. Mm-hmm. You know, at least from that standpoint. I joke about it all the time. I'd be like, man, that's the one time I could say, man, that really wasn't my pop's fault, right?
That's the one time.
That's the one time I could say, like, for real, like he didn't do nothing, man. Mm. Like he was innocent in that whole situation, man. You can't when the system is so messed up, especially towards black and brown folks, mm-hmm. when you fault a man for looking out for kids, right? Like this man taking his own money, mm-hmm. you know, helping kids with prom. Then, you know, kids didn't have dads. Right. You know, some of the kids on our team didn't have no dad or whatever. So that's what he was to him. Mm-hmm. And if you were a kid, man, he looked out for you. Absolutely. Regardless, man. Like, yeah, he's a good guy, man. Deep down. Yeah, he's done some bad things, but honestly, his heart was always in the right place, right? Mm-hmm. It was for us, yep. Right? I'd be lame. I'd be, you know, a couple other names I ain't gonna say on here, to be upset at him for trying to do what he did to provide for me,
to better your life.
Yeah. That's
real. That's real. No, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, brother. That's good. That's good stuff.